All right, so that was our very, very first one that we just did today. For the first one, which is the FIFO, and looking at what happens when purchase returns and allowances and how it affects your overall goods available, right? So now let's go ahead and dive into the next section where we need to also start carrying it over. So in question number 3, we are going to be looking at beginning inventory. So here, now we have to continue the inventory from question number 1, and you have inventory method is going to be periodic and it's going to be FIFO. So we're all going to be continuing on with FIFO. Okay, so the first thing that you have here is that on June 30th, you should have a total of 1,250 toys on hand. So let's go take a look at our inventory worksheet. So here in our example, right, we only carried over, in this case, right, we only used the first 2 batches, but we still have some in the blue batch, one in the orange batch, and one in the white batch, right? So in this case, we have 3 batches available. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna carry over exactly how it is displayed here. We're gonna carry over the exact order. So we're gonna keep it blue, orange, and white. We're gonna carry that all over into our next worksheet on our inventory worksheet for question number 3. So here we have it. I'm going to carry it over and I'm going to fill out this section here, right? Because we have a blue batch. So in this case, we sold, let's see. So here for our blue batch, right, we had 850 and sold 680. So we should have a remaining balance of, in our blue batch, 170. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and carry that over. Let me go to question number 3 here. And I'm going to carry over with the color too, so we can keep it consistent. And then the next one, when we come back to doing the next problem tomorrow, then we'll take the colors off. So hold on. What did I do here? I have equal. So we took 850 and we're subtracting 680. So we should have 170 available at my unit cost of this, right? Which should leave me a grand total of 219 left.
Can you do that again, that formula?
Okay.
So you multiplied the 170 by the 1,288,23529.
Yes, I multiplied.
219.
Mm-hmm.
So 170 times the one. Do you put the point in?
Yes.
288,23529 equals 219 when you round it off. Okay,
yes. So once again, this was the remainder batch, which was the blue batch. Okay, so I'm carrying the colors over too, so we keep it consistent. All right, so that was the first one there. We also need to carry over our orange batch because we didn't touch that one. So we're going to carry that over, our orange batch of 480, which was at, I think in this case, this is what we did. We did this at a total cost of $745. Oh, whoops, I hit the wrong one. Which was $745. Okay. which in this case, right, we solved to be a total cost per item to be that 1.552, etc., right? And I'm also going to highlight this. So I just carried the numbers over. No calculations really necessary unless you'd like to. In this case, we colored this one orange, right? And then last but not least, we also carried over the values of my white batch. So 600, right? That cost me 1080, which in this case we know to be $1.80. And I'm also going to stretch it out so we know that it's a rounded number. Right? Keep everything consistent. So here, right, I'm going to go ahead and total up my totals so then I can verify for sure that this is true. Okay, that my beginning balance was 1250 items, right? Costing me a total of the 244, which that's exactly correct, right? We had a beginning balance from the previous one to total up to be a total of 2044. All right, that's just adding up these columns. So that means when we're taking a look at our goods available, this is where we're going to start from. So when that's the case, then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create my table here so then when I do make my purchases and I do have my, I do have my returns and things like that, I can keep focus and make sure that this is my goods available. So I'm going to even label this section here as my goods available. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry my values over, right? Because this is my beginning balances, right? So these are going to be here as well. Okay. It's up to you if you want to keep the colors with you. I am going to, so then I know exactly where those numbers came from. Okay. So for example, I know that this 170 is my blue batch. Okay. My 480 is my orange batch. And this is what I'm calculating to be my goods available. Right? And then of course my 600 is my white batch. So I'm carrying, so this is my beginning inventory right here. I'm carrying it over so then when I do calculate it, right, I get a more precise figure here. All right. So let's go. So there you go. I have all my figures in here. So let's go ahead and take a look at my scenario. So for this one, I don't want you to journalize back and forth. What I want you guys to do is just look at the information, transfer it to the worksheet, because everything that we journalize, it's all going to be the same, right? It's going to be the same thing, your purchase expense, your freight expense, and then if you make a returns and allowances, then it's a purchase returns and allowances. So in this case, we've already practiced it the first time around. The second time is just rinse and repeat. So I'm going to have you guys just look at the scenario and just transfer it over here and just calculate the figure from here. Okay. So first things first is that on July 5th, we purchased 500 toys at $1.65 with a freight costing me $25. Okay, so go to my inventory worksheet. July 5th, 500 units at $1.65 with a freight of, was it 25?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go ahead and calculate. So what's my purchase price going to be?
$825.
$825. All right. And then my total cost, $8.50, with a cost per item to be $1.70. So in this case, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna associate this with a color for now. I can choose, I'm gonna choose yellow. All right, so this is my yellow batch. All right, so there we have that one. So let's look at our scenario one more time. So then what happened on July 10?
$840 to $1.80.
The cost of 40. Okay, so 800, 180, 40. All right. So then we know that there must have this batch that we just purchased for 500. We made no changes to it, right? No returns or allowances because we automatically purchased another order on the 10th for 800 items at $1.80 with a freight of 40. So
Purchase price will be $14.40.
$14.40. Total price?
$14.80.
Okay.
And the cost per item would be $185.
185. So all these numbers that we're looking at so far, they're giving us pretty nice numbers. Okay. And I'm gonna associate this batch. Okay, let's do purple. Can everyone see through this?
Yes.
Okay. So here we have a yellow batch and a purple batch. So once again, we made no changes to the yellow batch. So we need to carry that over into our table down here, and we made a purchase of the purple one. Okay, so here I'm transferring down my yellow batch because I know for sure no returns or any allowances here. So therefore, this batch is good. Now for the purple one, I'm not going to transfer the purple one over just yet because we might have a potential for, returns and allowances. So I'm just going to transfer one part at a time. Okay, and this one, I made it yellow. Okay. So purple batch right now, this is what we purchased, but we might have to make some changes and things like that. So let's go ahead and see what happened the next day. All right. So then on July 11th, what happened here?
You returned 100 defective items for a full refund.
For a full refund. Okay. So we returned 100 items. At what unit price am I returning these items at?
Is it the 185?
Yes.
No, 180.
180. The one that we just bought, because we're assuming that on July 5th, when we received our first batch of inventory, one thing that we did was we opened all the boxes and we checked them to make sure they were all right. So in this case, if I made a new batch of purchases on July 10, I'm assuming that my first batch, my yellow batch, was all clear. They were all good. So therefore, July 11th rolls around. I must have opened up my box, my purple batch, right, of 800 items, and I found that 100 of them were broken or defective. So in this case, I'm going to be returning them at $1.80. Okay? So then tell me, what is going to be my total amount that I am gonna get a refund for. So I got a full refund.
$180.
$180. And once again, I'm gonna make sure that I keep track of this, saying that this is from the purple batch, okay? Purple batch. So then, now that I know that piece of information, I'm going to go ahead and move it into my goods available. So my original purchase was 800 items, but I end up returning 100 of them. So therefore, how much should I actually have in my purple batch?
700.
700, right? I also refunded some of the money back. So in this case, I didn't pay a total of $14.80. I end up returning $180. So therefore, what should be my actual new total cost now? So $14.80. So
$1,300.
$1,300. All right. So then, because I have a new quantity and a new total cost, I need to now solve for a new cost per item. So in this case, I'm going to take my total cost of $1,300 and I'm going to divide it amongst my 700 items. So what is my purple batch's cost per item now?
$1,857,147. Yeah.
Good.
1,857. Yeah. 1,857,142.
Yep, it's going to go on forever, so
Okay.
I'm only going to show you what I can so that I don't overload my
Okay.
screen. So there you go. That is my purple batch. All right. So now that's my purple batch. This is my goods available right now. All right. This is my beginning inventory plus my net purchases. So I'm keeping it in order of how I bought my stuff and making sure that each one holds its value because I made a return here and there. So let's see what happened next on July 20th.
Purchased 300 toys at 185 and a freight cost of 15.
300, 185.15. So we made a purchase of 300 units at $1.85 with the freight costing you 15. And this was on July 20th. Okay. So then what is going to be my purchase price here?
I got $455.
555, good. Plus 15. Total cost is going to be
565.
570. Good. Which brings me to a total cost per item to be
$1.90.
$1.90. All right. Once again, I'm gonna take this and I guess red is something we haven't used yet, right? Let's go for red for now. Okay. Did we use all the colors already? Okay, so I guess, grays will be the next one. Okay. So here we have the red batch for 300 items at $1.85 with a total cost of $5.70 with a total cost per item to be $1.90. So every batch that I'm going to sell here, right? The cost of it's going to cost me $1.90 per item here. All right. So then let's see what happened next. What happened on July 21st?
You returned, well, took a 20% discount on 50 toys.
Okay, so here we're attempting to return 50 of them, but we end up keeping them and accepting a 20% discount. So in this case, right, I'm not returning anything. However, what am I going to be taking a discount off of? Which batch?
The red one?
The red one, right? So in this case, I'm returning 50. At what cost am I allowed to take the 20% discount off of?
Oh, the $1.85.
The $1.85, yes. So once again, I'm going to do equal round. Actually, what was the it says we returned 50 items at $1.85. And how much percentage are taking a discount off of?
20%?
20%. So what's my grand total I'm going to be receiving back?
$18.50.
$18.50. Okay. So what I did here is I multiplied 50 because that's how many items I'm attempting to return, because those are the wrong colored ones. They're going to calculate it at $1.85, but I'm getting a 20% discount on top for the refund because I'm keeping those items. So in this case, 20% of the 50 times the 185, right, is going to give me $18.50. Okay? So 20% off of $92.50 will be $18.50. All right? So if this is going to be taken away because this is a refund, right? I'm getting a discounted amount, right, off of 50 toys. So in this case, right, I didn't return anything. So therefore, my total that I purchased originally for the 300 units, that's going to stay the same because I didn't return anything. I accepted the discount instead. Okay? But because I accepted the discount, I'm getting money back. So therefore, I'm not paying the total of $570. I'm paying $18.50 less. So therefore, what was my total cost going to be for my red batch? $551.50. Okay? And in this case, because I have a new cost, I need to divide the cost evenly amongst my 300 units. So in this case, my new cost per item is going to be
1.8383.
1.383. Good. And this is now my red batch. That's what it is now. Right? All right, so then what happened on July 25th?
So you purchased 100 toys at $1.75 with the freight cost of $5.
So 100 at $1.75. Freight was $5 on July 25th. Okay. So what's my purchase price going to be here?
Got $5.25. That's not right. $175.
Good. Plus $5.
$180.
180. That which will bring my cost per item to be
$1.80.
$1.80. Okay. So in this case, I'm gonna make this gray because I ran out of colors. All right. Now, of course, if I look in my scenario, right, I know that on July 31st, I have a total of 600 toys on hand. So therefore, that means no changes to this batch. So I'm going to carry it down into my goods available. So I have a total of 100 toys, right, at $180, which we know that each cost per item that I sell here is going to cost me $1.80. Okay? And I also made this batch gray. Okay? So what I can do here is I can actually sum up my total amounts here, right, equals sum, to give me my total goods available, including my beginning inventory and my total purchases. All right. So I got 2,850 items available. This is the number we're going to double check in our calculations here in that window over there. The window on the left, okay, when we calculate our numbers. Okay. So, what I'm going to do here is, now that I used up pretty much all the colors, I think I'm going to use my highlighter. Let's see, what color should we use this time to just represent my total amount, because I already used white. So I'm going to do like a faded color.
I don't think you have used green yet, have you?
Okay, we can use green. Okay, so green's going to be my total amounts, okay? Oh man, that just looks like a batch right there.
Maybe a different color green.
Okay, different color green. Okay, a different color green. Or actually, maybe I'll do it this way, where I don't highlight everything. I just or if anything, I'm going to change the font color. Just because now it just looks like that's my batch of inventory. So I'm going to make this color, let's make it like this nice blue. Right there. That way we could tell that this is my total numbers here. All right. I'm also going to tally up my total returns and allowances, right? What was my total returns and allowances?
100.
Right? In my quantity, I have 100. And my total cost here,
198.50.
$198.50. This one I'm going to leave this one. It's exactly how it is. Okay. Right, these are my total costs here. All right. So next I'm going to do is let's go ahead and sum up our purchases so that we can go ahead and get a grand total here of my net purchases. So how many items did I purchase in the month of July?
1,700.
1,700. Okay, good. Ooh, okay, so let's continue. So what was my total purchase price?
I got $29.95.
Good, $29.95. What was my total freight? 85 to give me a total cost of
$30.80.
$30.80. Okay, good. Right. So now that we summed up our totals, right, in this table, I have my beginning inventory is already summed up. I have my net purchases. I have my goods available, and I have my returns and allowances. So now let's plug in my numbers here, and then we'll solve for our cost of goods sold. So the very first thing is, what was the original purchase, the number of quantity that I purchased? I purchased a total of 1,700 units, right? Which cost me $29.95. Okay. I returned a total of 100 units, which I got a refund for the $198.50. So in this case, what is my subtotal here that I should for my net purchases?
1,600.
1,800.
1,800. Because we originally purchased 1,700, but we returned 100 items.
Oh, okay, 1,600.
Okay. And my subtotal here, after refunding $198.50,
$31.93.50. Aye.
31.
2,995.
Yeah, so yeah, we're not adding, we're subtracting.
$31.93.50.
That you added.
Okay, the $29.95.
Subtract.
Aye. Okay. Subtract the $198.50 and $27.96.50.
Yes. Okay. Freight doesn't add to quantity, but it adds to the cost, right? We got a total of $85 for freight. So therefore, what is going to be my total net purchases? So in this quantity doesn't change. So in this case, if I add my 85 to the 27.96.50, my total net purchases is going to be total cost of my net purchases
2881.50.
$28.81.50. Good. All right. Beginning inventory, right? We carried it from the previous month, which we know to be the $12.50, costing me at a total of the $20.44. Okay. We're going to carry down our net purchases that we saw from above. All right. And then we're going to add those two numbers together because those are going to be my goods available. So in this case, what is my total goods available?
$1,600.
1,600 plus my beginning balance.
And the $12.50.
Mm-hmm.
So $18.50. $28.50.
$28.50. Good. All right. And what is going to be my total cost here?
$49.25.50.
$49.25.50, which right here in our table, right in the middle, we know that this is exactly what our goods available are. Okay. we have our calculated amounts. This is our beginning inventory plus our net purchases, right? So therefore, that's it, right? Back to the scenario, we know that we should have a total of 600 toys on hand. Okay. So therefore, in grand total, how many items did I sell?
2,250.
2,250. Yes. Okay. So we sold a total of 2,250 items. So here I'm going to go ahead and build my little table here. Oops. Right? This table right here is going to be my cost of goods sold. Okay. Right, so I'm gonna have to extend this out one more row. Okay, so there we go. So here is going to be my equal sum, right? So then I can keep a running balance so I know how many more items to sell. Okay. And at the same time, I'm also going to know it's going to calculate my total cost of goods sold, the cost of it, balance there. Okay. So let's talk about the first one, which first batch, right? We're using first in, first out. Okay. Which batch am I going to take from first? Which batch am I going to sell out first?
The gray one.
The gray one?
Because we're doing last, oh, no, last in, first out, right?
We're doing first in, first out.
Oh, okay. The blue one, 107.
Good. Blue for 170. Okay. Since we're going to take all of it, right? We know it's going to cost me this much, right? I'm only doing this for reference points. Okay. So already we're going to take that first batch of blue out. Okay. Which batch are we going to take out from next?
The orange batch?
The orange batch, right? We're going to take all of it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So that means it's going to cost me a total of $745. Okay. Which batch is going to be next?
The clear one.
Yes. Right? I'm going to sell all of that out. So in this case, we know that that's going to cost me 180 or 1080. Okay? So let's take a look. That's a total of 1250. We have how many more to go?
1,000.
We have 1,000. So let's take a look. All right, we already cleared the first 3. So if we take 500, right, that means we have 500 more to go. So in this case, the next batch I'm going to take is the whole entire yellow batch, right? So in this case, if we're taking the whole entire the whole entire 500 batch here, the yellow batch, it's going to cost me a grand total of $850. All right. So there we eliminated those batches. So then we have $1,750. We already talked about it. How much more do I need to sell?
500.
500, right? To get it 2250. All right. So in this case, since I'm going to take a portion of my purple batch, right? Purple is what I'm going to be working on next. I'm not taking all of it. So in this case, I have to calculate my cost per item of $1.85173 to get me a total cost of selling 500 items. Okay. So in this case, this is where I'm going to go ahead and punch in my formula, equal round, open parentheses, or tab if you want to use that. My first argument is going to be my equation, which is the 500 times the 1.857143, right? I'm going to close that argument with a comma, and then I want my number to round by 2 decimal places. Okay, and then I'm gonna end my formula here. So therefore, let's calculate it. What is 500 times $1.857143?
$95.715.
9. Okay.
Yes, you are correct. I was wrong.
It was Excel. All right, so here you go. Now my totals are here. I'm going to also change the color there so then you guys know that this is a calculation here. So I have a grand total of $3,822.57 as my cost of goods sold. All right. So therefore, what should be my total ending balance?
$1102.93.
Good. 1102.93. And now we've completed our inventory worksheet. Okay. So now let's journalize. So that's what question 4 is. Journalize the conversion entry here. So it is now July 31st. And how should my journal look like this time? How do I journalize the conversion entry?
Let's start with your ending toy or inventory.
Mm-hmm. Good. Toys. Ending balance. Good.
And then cost of goods sold.
Cost of goods sold.
And purchase returns and allowances.
Purchase returns and allowances.
And then your credit purchase expense and freight expense.
That's it?
That looks like it.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, let's plug in our numbers and let's find out. So, ending balance in our toys. What was it?
1102.93.
1102.93. What was the total cost of my goods sold?
3822.57.
Okay. What was my total purchase returns and allowances?
198.50.
Okay. What was my total original purchases?
29.95.
Okay. What was my total freight?
85.
85. Okay. So let's do our equal sum. Okay. Just to make sure that our total debits match my total credits. Okay. So I get a total of 51.24 on the debit side, and I get a total of 3,080. So in this case, I'm missing.
Beginning balance.
There you go. So there you go. My beginning balance of 2,044, which is your beginning balance here. So in this case, our beginning inventory, right? What was our inventory item?
Toys.
Toys. Okay. So if you want to do for practice purposes only, I'll let you indicate that the top one is ending and then the bottom one is beginning. But when we actually do this in the real world, they're the same exact account. One is you're taking stuff in it, putting stuff in there, and one of them is you're taking stuff out from it. So, good. Excellent. All right. Any questions? So we did good for the second one, right? A lot more easier, a lot more you guys understand it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop here for today because it's already 11:13. There's no way we have time to compute another one. So let's go ahead and call it a day, and tomorrow we'll continue the rest of this exercise.